Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your positive words and for your words of support for PRGMEA and IAF. And now it's time for the chief guest and my president. And I'm very proud to announce Mr. Han Bekke, President of IAF.
Your Excellencies, Minister, Ambassador, Mr. Chairman of the Sialkot Chamber of Commerce, dear guests, including the members of the board of PRGMEA and its unforgettable, now already unforgettable President Iyas Kokar. I'm delighted to be here tonight in this wonderful dinner setting. My first time in Pakistan, and I promise you it will not be the last time. I thank you for the warm welcome and hospitality I enjoyed today. It's a long day, but it's exciting. It was a great pleasure for me to open a few hours ago with the dignitaries the new IAF office in the wonderful new building of PRGMEA. I'm really impressed by this office, and I'm really honored, and IAF is honored, and I say that on behalf of the board of IAF, that we have our first regional office open today. It's the first IAF regional office, and it's also the official start of a pilot endorsed by the IAF board with the aim to open more of these offices around the world. But it's Pakistan that has it first, and it will ever be the case. But let me first express my gratitude to Iyas Kokar, who hunted me for many years, and my predecessor, Rahul Mehta, my predecessor. He was president from India, and I took over his job last year in Mumbai. So Rahul was involved in this hunting by Iyas and pressing by Iyas to open this office, because he's really committed to make IAF stronger for the international apparel society. Iyas, without doubt, is a great representative for your industry. He's a real ambassador, I can tell you. And he's a real entrepreneur. He has not been satisfied with just becoming part of that family 9 years ago and becoming our board member, but he said we have to do something to help our members, and especially in Pakistan, because he's representing Pakistan. He has pressed for pushing further and creating an infrastructure to bring the IAF closer to the members. He has pushed for IAF delivering direct value to companies. This infrastructure is now taking the form of a first regional office here in Sialkot. It's our intention, as I said, to open more of these, but first we work on this pilot, and the discussions already started this afternoon and will continue tomorrow and the Friday, how to make it work in a roadmap for the membership of PRGMEA. The office here in Sialkot will have its own board with the president of PRGMEA, Iyas Kokar, be the president of the IAF office here. And there will be a good exchange of information between the board here of our regional office and the IAF board that meets twice a year physically in the spring and in autumn, in 2 weeks' time during our World Fashion Convention in Rio. The satellite office will have its own board, as I said. The board will prepare the recommendations for the IAF board of directors, and this way the IAF Sialkot office will create a good route for channeling the specific interest of Pakistani apparel companies to the IAF board of directors. Currently we are discussing 3 desks to help members. The first one is a market entry desk with information on product legislation, trade rules, and market entry strategy. There will be a member benefit desk providing access to global discounts on services. Everybody running an association knows that members ask, what's in for me? I pay you, but what's in for me? Because you're entrepreneurs, you want value for the money. And that's not only in Pakistan, it's in the Netherlands, it's in Italy, in Germany, all around the world. The third desk will be a trade fair desk, helping companies to have better access to trade fairs, and we will look and negotiate to see whether we can have cheaper square meter prices, who sometimes are too high. Ladies and gentlemen, when IAF was founded in 1972 by leading industry leaders from Europe, Japan, and the USA, they had a dream to bring the apparel world together. At that time, trade in textiles and apparel was under quota in the multi-fiber agreement. They said, let's form an international platform, not fighting about quota, not fighting about prices, but bring the apparel continents together. And that was their dream. And since 45 years, we're still working on that dream of our founders. But since then, we opened the IAF to more countries than just the blocs, Europe, Japan, and USA, who were dominating the decision-making process. In the 80s, Turkey came in, and Turkish manufacturers also very fierce, especially our past president, Hassan Arad. We said, you have to open IAF to the world, and that's what we do. And now we have memberships, national associations from more than 40 countries, representing more than 200,000 apparel companies and more than 20 million workers. Since our foundation in 1972, the apparel world has dramatically changed. The globalization of apparel manufacturing, stimulated by the liberalization of trade in textiles and clothing as per the 1st of January 2005, has intensified competition in the textile apparel pipeline. In certain parts of the apparel world, it puts heavy pressure on existing market structures. At the same time, new market opportunities are ahead of us. Creativity, design, training, new materials, research, information technology, cooperation in the demand chain are just a few key words to underline the possibilities companies have to be competitive and to gain market share. To help the apparel sector in benefiting from these challenges, the IAF has redrafted its mission statement last year. IAF's mission is to unite all stakeholders of the fashion industry, including brands, retailers, suppliers, and country associations from around the world to enable and promote smarter, stronger, more sustainable supply chains. Since 2009, the global apparel market is experiencing a slowdown in growth to some 2 till 3% per year. The year 2016, according to a survey by McKinsey, said it was a very tough year. The key words were uncertain, changing, and challenging, which is not a good business environment for entrepreneurs. Personally, I'm worried about the actual geopolitical tensions, polarization, and populism in a growing number of countries. This could easily lead to protectionism and import duties, and with that not only affect the world exports in clothing, which is approximately $400 billion US, but also the position of many companies and workers worldwide. IAF was and still is in favor of free trade, but fair trade. The Trans-Pacific Partnership deal, TTP, was blown up by President Trump. TTIP, the trade agreement between EU and USA, is in the fridge. NAFTA, US, Canada, Mexico, is under pressure, could be renegotiated. The CETA, the agreement between Europe and Canada, was only accepted after strong opposition in some parts of Europe, Belgium, the Wallonian part of Belgium, but finally it was accepted. But it indicates that times are changing, that there is pressure on, I wouldn't say America first attitude, but this danger of protectionism is something we cannot need in our business, as far as IAF sees it. All this might have a negative influence on international trade in apparel and textiles. Brands and retailers might start to change their sourcing in anticipation of higher import duties that may never come. It's uncertainty, and with uncertainty it's, again, a very bad entrepreneurship. But IAF is not a lobby organization. We're not talking to the WTO, we're not talking to the people in Brussels or in Washington. We are business people, we are a business network, but I think we have to express what affects our business, and that should not happen. The apparel industry is presently working under volatile global macroeconomic conditions. The fashion market has become very competitive with high pressure on margins. I see two main developments. There are more, but let me put two and share two of them with you. A race to the bottom, on the one hand, where one could question whether this is profitable at the end and whether it will improve the living and working conditions of workers in low-wage countries. The pressure on our supply chain to be really transparent and be accountable for these conditions increases. And IAF is working on harmonizing all these codes of conduct and all this audit fatigue and all that stuff, and to build in social compliance and also environmental compliance. On the other hand, I see a movement from focus on price to focus on quality, more value for money, sustainability and speed to market. This could make local manufacturing or reshoring based on new technology attractive, robots, 3D printing, etc. We already see some production from Far East coming back to Europe. Portugal is heading up for it, Turkey. You see China moving into Vietnam. We see production from Bangladesh to Myanmar. Still, we're looking for the lowest point, and that should come to an end, I feel. Meanwhile, consumer behavior continued to change, stimulated by new technology, and not to talk about internet. Disruptive economy. Look at Uber and Airbnb and what it does to businesses that were there for a long time. Amazon is entering our fashion market, and we don't know what it could mean, but it will happen. And what I heard, they will also go into manufacturing, made to measure, direct, because the consumer wants it now and quick. According to McKinsey, the survey mentioned before, consumers have become more demanding, more discerning and less predictable. And this is challenging for companies in our sector who have, in my view, to reconsider their business models. Speed to market is key. Innovation is needed next to sustainability approach. But there are also positive signs. The world economy will grow this year with approximately 3.5%, according to the IMF. Growth will be higher than last year, mainly because Japan and the Eurozone perform better. Compared to April this year, the economic prospects for Brazil, China and some European countries have improved. The IMF has negatively adjusted its estimates for the US market to a 2.1% growth. For Pakistan, IMF expects a growth this year, next year of around 5%, which is very good. Ladies and gentlemen, back to your country, Pakistan. Pakistan was and will be a major exporter of garments. In 2016, it was in the top of the largest garment exporters in the world. Pakistan was also in the top 10 of largest suppliers of garments to the EU market. This is a good position, and considering the population of Pakistan, there is even potential to grow. IAF's international network helps organizations like PRGMEA to bring the world closer to Pakistan and so to generate more business. As an example, PRGMEA signed an MOU with our other IAF member, CCCT, in Beijing. And I will later, as president of the Dutch Textile and Apparel Industry Association, sign an MOU with PRGMEA to have a closer cooperation between the Dutch industry and your sector. Our new IAF Pakistan office will be IAF's and PRGMEA's direct window to the world for the Pakistan garment business. I'm confident it will contribute to a continuing strong growth of the Pakistan garment industry. With that, we do exactly what our founders wanted, building bridges. Thank you all.
Mr. Becker, thank you very much. Thank you for taking us on a journey of what IAF and PRGMEA will do together, taking us on a journey of what's happening in the world, and obviously what we will do is translate those developments taking place in the global apparel supply chain to direct services, policies here in Pakistan for Pakistani companies.